Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've had a lot of information, new information after I just went to my most recent gastroenterologist doctor's appointment, and one of the main questions that I had for him was about remission versus having a flare-up. So I know that's something that's a major concern for individuals who have inflammatory bowel disease, to try to kind of figure out what works for them. I know it's different for everyone and their body, but that was one thing that was a major concern for me. Was I know that a lot of folks, the whole idea is to kind of get you to remission from whatever treatment options you're taking and to stay there. So I was really interested to know from him, how do I know if I'm in remission? How do we know that this medication is working? Is it just that I feel better and we just kind of figure that that's, you know, it's working and it's doing its job? And how do I know if I'm having a flare-up? So I did get some information from him on that. So basically what he explained with regard to being in remission is that for the infusion treatment that I'm on, he said most individuals, what he finds is that once they've had their first 3 infusion treatments, which are the initial kind of introductory doses, once the patient has those and does well with those, they kind of consider that they're moving into remission. He said for the most part, these biologics, this group of drugs, really seem to help individuals in the quickest way. So he said that once I transition completely off of the steroid, which I did talk about in a previous video, once I completely transition off of the steroid, which will likely be in June of this year, my only treatment will be, I've mentioned an over-the-counter probiotic, which is just kind of, anybody could take, and my infusion treatment. So those 2 things will be the only thing that I'll be taking to manage my Crohn's symptoms. So at that point, what he said was, with regard to remission, that would kind of be our baseline to know when, how my body's acting at that moment when the only treatment I have is essentially the infusion treatment that I'm going through. So as far as the baseline goes, basically he said at that moment, however I'm feeling with, maintaining my diet, keeping it pretty regular, introducing, other foods slowly, but I know I've talked a lot in other videos about the paleo or caveman diet that I've been working to follow. He suggested that, kind of our baseline is how I'm feeling at that moment. So it sounds kind of gross, but to kind of have an idea of, how many bowel movements you're having every day, what's regular for your body, what kind of pain and discomfort are you feeling, what is happening when you go to the bathroom, what does that look like, or, whatever, what does that feel like? So that's kind of a baseline. And so he said with regard to a flare-up, you'll know that you're having one if your symptoms are drastically changing from that baseline. So let's say hypothetically, my baseline is that I have 3, bowel movements a day or whatever, and I have, this level of pain, and this is, the other parts that are going on. If with regard to a flare-up, the biggest way to know the difference, if all of a sudden I haven't changed anything in my diet, everything is the same, I'm not crazy, stressed out or anything like that, that would, drastically impact my colon, everything stays the same, and all of a sudden I'm having 10 bowel movements a day or something like that, where I'm running to the bathroom, or like I said, what's happening in the bathroom has drastically changed from what it was before, or there's bleeding where there wasn't before, or something like that. So that was kind of news to me, because I really wasn't sure, how do I know if I'm having a flare-up? How do I know if I'm in remission? And I know that's something that I will just learn with time, and it's all about just kind of getting to know my body and what works best for my body and what my body responds to. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting, was basically to just kind of learn what my baseline is when my only treatment is this infusion treatment. So anyway, I just wanted to share. I know that's a little bit kind of too much information, but I know I mentioned that in other videos, that this is kind of what you get with an inflammatory bowel disease. So just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support, and I will see you in my next video.